Board of Tyler ISD trustees to order. There is presence of a quorum, and the meeting has been duly called, and the notice of the meeting has been posted in the time and manner required. Thanks everybody for coming out today. We will slide into executive session for a little bit. It shouldn't be too terribly long, and we'll have some action to follow. So that's all I got.
As principal at Rice Elementary School, Mr. Smiley has performed well for us through his career here in Tyler ISD. He's worked his way up through the ranks. He currently serves as Dean of Instruction at Tyler Legacy High School, and we think he's a good fit. It was a very competitive process. We appreciate everyone that provided input, including parents and staff at Rice. We did a little bit differently this time, and they gave us a good profile. We think that Mr. Smiley meets that profile and can certainly take the baton from Miss Bosley and lead that campus to unfettered levels of success that we need at Rice Elementary.
Okay, great. Well, I'll go ahead and entertain a motion on that item.
Mr. President, I move that we accept the administration recommendation to hire Mr. John Smiley as the next principal of Rice Elementary School.
Okay, thank you, Reverend Hager. Do I have a second?
I second.
Thank you, Dr. Nation. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it, and the motion carries. Welcome to Rice Elementary.
Thank y'all so much. First, thank you, Board President Washman. Thank you to the rest of the board. Dr. Crawford, I appreciate your support. I'd also like to thank Dr. C for pouring into me the last 5 years. We've been together 5 years. I've been at Lee and Legacy 12. I have thoroughly enjoyed it. Thank you to my family for supporting me throughout this time, late nights, early mornings. Thank you to the selection committee as well. I'm excited to get on that campus, pursue successful student outcomes, and continue the legacy, but improve the campus at the same time. Thank y'all.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Smiley. And thank you to all those people in the Rice community that came out to meet Mr. Smiley. I know that y'all are excited, and can't wait to see what you do over there. So we'll let y'all mingle and do what you need to do. We're going to pop back into executive session to take care of some other business. Thank you. Okay, we have returned again from executive session, and we have already taken care of the initial action that we had in there. So we've come up to our public participation part of the meeting. I do not believe anybody has signed up today. Gina, thank you. So we'll continue on to our continuous improvement and student outcomes, a professional development update.
Dr. Christy Hansen, Assistant Superintendent for Academic Services. Academic support. What's your new title?
Academic support.
C&I for right now, until July 1. There we go. She's going to provide our board monitoring calendar, ask for a professional development, professional learning update. She's here to provide that update. I think you get one per semester. Dr. Hansen.
Thank you, Mr. Washman and board. I appreciate you letting me kind of just give you a little overview of where we are on professional development. Just to give you a quick review, we did, even under all the circumstances, do quite a bit of professional development this year. We did the reading academies for 7 campuses. We were able to do letters for about 100 teachers who did modules 5 through 8 and finished up the letters program that they started last year. And we had about 25 pre-K, Head Start, and tuition-based pre-K teachers go through the letters early childhood program. All of that was done virtually. We also had teachers go through Canvas training. Every teacher in the district went through Canvas training. And we had a lot of teachers go to the Lead Forward conference virtually this year. So we still did a lot of professional development. It wasn't the way that we had done it in the past, and maybe not even the way that we prefer. But we were able to continue to keep that going. So moving into what we're going to do this coming year, we're really excited about our professional development for the coming year. So starting with June 1st and 2nd, which are makeup days, we're sort of starting off with a bang with June 1st and 2nd, and we have really personalized the professional development for campuses based on campus needs. So as you know, we've sort of categorized campuses based on risk loads, and we were able to really individualize that professional learning for them on June 1st and 2nd. So we'll just go through some of the things that we have going, and everyone except one speaker for the whole summer is going to be face-to-face. Stedman Graham, Oprah's, he'll be here virtually. Everyone else is going to be face-to-face. So if we go back, everyone.
You just say Oprah's whatever.
Yeah,
Let's call it common law. I don't know.
So on June 1st and 2nd, we are going to bring in Kagan. I'm very excited that we're going to be doing Kagan for every single teacher in the district, pending board approval. Those are collaborative structures, and that, we're really excited about that. I'll tell you more about that in a minute. We are going to be doing structured literacy for 11 elementary campuses and 2 middle school campuses. We're going to be doing small group instruction in the workshop model for most of our campuses in June, and then we'll get them the rest of them in August. We're going to be doing blended learning for all of our secondary campuses. Later in May, we're going to get that going at the high schools on June 1st and 2nd, and the 9 traits of critical thinking, we're bringing them to 29 soon. So we're very excited about partnering with a local company as well. So, yes, sir. Do I have a clicker?
We're having some technical difficulties.
Okay.
Let's try the microphone first.
I do have a clicker, but I was standing.
So sorry.
That's okay. So, that's better. So the collaborative structures by Kagan, what that does is that teaches our students how to engage in their own learning and engage with one another during the instructional time. It also helps kids take responsibility for their own learning so that it's not always the teacher who's doing all the work in the classroom. It really increases that engagement, increases those communication skills. And as we know, as students gain oral language skills, they become better readers. That is the first foundation to building those brain waves in order to help kids read. So we're very excited about bringing in the Kagan structures on June 1st and 2nd for elementary and some middles, and then on August 9th and 10th for the rest of the secondary campuses. So if you have students that are in 90-minute blocks, trust me, your teachers are going to know how to use those 90 minutes very effectively when they go into middle school and high school next year. So the structured literacy, we have Reading Horizons that's going to be doing our structured literacy professional development. This is a program that is based on the research out of working with kids with dyslexia. And it, again, is a scripted program so that teachers really go through it step by step in order to help kids learn how to read phonetically. It also, one of the things that we love about this particular resource is that the spelling, the handwriting, and the writing are integrated into the phonics routine so that they all align together, and that's a really important piece. We will be doing quite a bit of work on small group instruction and the workshop model. The workshop model is an instructional framework for a lesson so that there is a clear structure to the classroom process so that all the kids are engaged in a mini lesson. They also are able to do some individualized. It's how we get in that tier 2 instruction and the scaffolding. And then there's a closure. It's a great way to help us ensure that we are using, that we're instructing kids bell to bell, and we don't have any lost instructional time, because as you know, we cannot afford that. And then the blended learning models, we really are emphasizing those, especially at the secondary this year, but in all grade levels. And this will be how we ensure that we are utilizing what you were so generous to approve, our one-to-ones. So this is a great way for our teachers and our students to understand how to better use technology as an instructional tool, not as something extra. We were sort of forced into that during COVID, and now we're just going to become better at it. And then the 9 traits of critical thinking by Mentoring Minds. We are going to be looking at Mentoring Minds as a resource for the students, but also as a process by which we help them increase their rigor in the way that they think. And when you combine that with Kagan and how they began to structure their thinking and their oral language, the intent is to really help kids to be able to engage in and think through the content in a higher way. So all of that's happening June 1st and 2nd. Then we're very excited on July 27th and 28th, we're having a social emotional learning conference. And as I said, everyone will be face-to-face except one. We have about 30 seats left in that conference. And this is on teachers' own time. So they're not required to come. We're very excited about having opportunities for teachers to learn about kids from the inside out, and we're able to help them on all levels. And then our Reimagine conference is August 1st and 2nd. Again, all face-to-face speakers, and we brought in national, state level speakers. We don't have in-house speakers at all. We wanted to get the top people in the field working with our teachers after having sort of had the year that they've had. We felt like they just deserved the best. So we have all renowned authors and speakers coming to work with our teachers on during the Reimagine conference on August 2nd and 3rd. And then, as always, we are supporting our first-year teachers with First Connect and Staying Connected. These are sort of the numbers we had this year. We had 8 district mentors, 28 campus mentors, and 178 content and grade level mentors. And we are only expanding that program in the 21-22 school year. So we're very excited about the support that Tyler offers for their first and second year teachers. So that is the plan for the coming fall.
One thing I'll add, board, real quick, is we're excited about how we're going to execute convocation in August. Very teacher-centric, obviously, in our trainings here. We're actually going to do a split convocation this year. We're actually going to have support service, auxiliary service. We'll actually have a separate one for them. We're going to have that in the Legacy cafeteria. And then we're actually going to have a nationally renowned speaker coming in called George Kuros. One of these, he's a hot dog. I mean, he is the dude. He's a rock star. So we're excited about having them in for general convocation as well. His content, his delivery, the stuff he's going to talk about is going to be more inspirational towards our teaching staff. And so it'll be a very different environment at Crosswalk. To where we're also going to have a panel at the very end where we'll have some folks talking to. So we're just trying to reignite, reimagine what teaching and learning looks like in Tyler ISD this year. And we think that those 2 events will be great, especially with our auxiliary staff and being able to take them to Legacy and give them some breakfast tacos and have a good time with them. So anyways, I just kind of wanted to throw that in there since you didn't have anything on there about it, Dr. Hanson.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Does anybody have any questions or comments for Dr. Hanson?
Mr. President, I wanted to say that I'm pretty excited about this plan. It all meshes together and works with social, emotional, and grouping and different learning styles. Kagan, I was blessed to be able to go to a professional learning workshop with Kagan, with Spencer Kagan, years ago, and they've updated it all since then, I know. But I was about 7 years into my teaching career, and I used it to the very last day. It gets students involved, and it's very helpful for the teachers. Then I'm also excited about the integration of spelling and handwriting and writing. So I just really love this plan.
Good, thank you. And
Piggyback as well. I'm excited.
yay!
Just like her, Kagan, and I'm glad that you're doing it for everybody. So if I move to another school and you say face to face or look at your elbow partner or let's do round robin, I know what you're talking about. I love the workshop model for literacy because it entails everything and it gets everybody involved. So I'm going to do a drive-by. I will read it.
We will invite you, Ms. Adkins, to come.
I'm excited. Yay!
Good. Well, thank you. I know that professional development is something that's been a focus of yours since you've been here, Dr. Crawford, and I'm glad to see it continuing to be robust here in Tyler ISD. So.
Well, our teachers deserve it for sure. They've worked really hard this year, so we're excited about the board and the administration bringing in high quality PD for them. They just deserve the best. So we're fortunate. Our teachers are fortunate.
Well, good deal. Thank you. Okay, moving on to our consent agenda. I think unless somebody wants to pull A or B, just let me know, but I think we can go ahead and entertain a motion for items A and B.
I move that we approve items A and B.
Okay, thank you.
Second.
I have a second. Any discussion on either of those? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Ayes have it, and the motion carries. Moving on to item C, a consideration and possible action for adjustments to return to learn protocols. Dr. Crawford?
Mr. Washman, thank you, board as well. We've had a successful school year to this point. We have, after this week, 2.5 weeks of school left, I believe. And am I right on that? 2.5 after this week? Yeah, 2.5 after this week. And y'all have let this administration execute the return to learn plan. And our teachers and our staff and our students and our parents have really executed that plan. The governor threw us a curveball a month ago in regard to the lifting of the mask mandate statewide. However, under TEA guidance, any consideration or adjustment to that portion of your plan, your return to learn plan, your safe return to learn, whatever you're going to call it, would take governance action. And would like to bring to y'all today the opportunity to discuss that. That is something that is a burgeoning topic in our community. Amongst our administration, we see some value in that discussion and potential adjustment. Our plan was to actually bring it to y'all for adjustment for summer school, but our numbers over the last 8 weeks have really shown that I think bringing it to y'all a little bit earlier for consideration for the back end of school here would be something that I think y'all would probably see value, and I know the administration would too, as well as our community and our parents. So it's in front of y'all today to consider an adjustment to the mask requirement in our protocols, because those numbers do look good, and I'd be happy to go over those with y'all if you'd like me to.
Sure, go ahead. Go ahead and talk.
So over the last 8 weeks, we've had 4.25 per 20,000. Excuse me, 4.25 per 20,000 COVID cases in our school system. If you look at it over the last 8 weeks of the sampling, you talk about that's about 40 cases or so among 160,000 opportunities. I guess I'm speaking that correctly, right? Director of Health Services, Ms. Barber? Okay. And they have been effective, but certainly with any type of herd immunity that we have out there, any type of vaccination opportunities that we've had since, I guess, March, we feel confident that we could bring it in front of y'all that we could have some type of adjustment, because those numbers do justify further consideration. Because we use the numbers and use science and use data to put these things in place. And so I think it's only fair that we honor the system we've put in place by bringing this to y'all for consideration, because the numbers are not what they were when we put this in place to start school back in August, and then how we've carried that all the way through Christmas, January spikes, and then after spring break, they pretty much just saw a downward trend of what we've had amongst student and staff populations.
Okay, thank you for that. By my math, that would be 2 10,000ths positivity rate kind of per week. That'd be a good number in the community. I know that. So
Yeah,
pretty
yeah,
good.
we've never approached 1%.
Right.
And we didn't really set 1% as a thing of shut the district down or
Right.
shut a campus down. Probably would have been really sensitive as far as a classroom goes, but we never even got to that point. We did have, as far as outbreaks go, we just didn't have that happen this whole year. So, yes, those numbers are, like I always like to say, a BB at a tank. As far as that goes, in regard to you start talking about statistical reliability on making decisions, I think that those are very minuscule.
Okay. Any discussion amongst the board on this? I'll go ahead and yield to anybody who wants to.
I'd just like to compliment not just the leadership of the district, but particularly the staff and the students as well, who have done a great job this year under some almost bizarre conditions. But kids are still learning, they're still being cared for, they're still being fed, even with the mask on. And so I've been very supportive of the district's efforts to keep our employees safe and keep our teachers safe. And I do believe that kind of the confluence of both the opportunity to be vaccinated if you are concerned about getting COVID, if your health status increases your risk. I think the vaccine has been out there for plenty of time for people to get both shots. And then just the state of our community. The hospital census now is a fraction of what it was 4 or 5 months ago, to where it's just not as prevalent in our community as it was while we were, unlike a lot of other places, still conducting school. So my hat's off to the administration and all the employees and the kiddos who have who've probably worn their masks more than anybody else in our community. They've just done a great job, but I do think we're at a point now where we can make masks optional for employees and students, and do that in a way that's still safe and still recognizes that not everyone's health situation is identical, and there'll be some who need to continue to have that kind of protection.
Sure. Thank you. No doubt about that. If the board does decide to provide guidance to the administration to go a different route in regard to the requirement for mask, let's be clear that on our campuses, that if those still choose to wear them, whether it be students or staff, we're going to be very respectful of that. Until people get comfortable with the health situation that's out there, we need to respect that, just because we would like them to respect the fact that somebody doesn't wear a mask, or that's a choice. And so in saying that, I think the numbers do rely upon us to be able to do that. Again, you're exactly right. Our staff, we couldn't have done this, we couldn't have the success we did without our staff and our students. And kudos to our parents for being reasonable about this. Even though they may not have agreed with it, we may not have done enough. I've heard that as well. We may have done too much. I've heard plenty of that. But in saying that, kudos to them for letting us have the school year that we've had and sending their children to school and trusting us to make sure that we operate school in person. So again, being very respectful of those who choose to continue to wear a mask because they are concerned with the some of the issues that they may have personally.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Mr. Washman, I'd like to make a motion that effective Monday, May 10th, the mask mandate be removed from Tyler ISD.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Bergfeld. I have a motion on the table. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Any more discussion? on this. I'll just say real quick that I appreciate our teachers so much and our students, and I look at our young ones and our, I got a sweet second grader, a first grader, and they have risen to the occasion, and I'm one of the guys that has probably put his personal ideas to the back seat, so knowing that we need to protect our teachers and our students. Sorry, there's an ambulance back there. But you've done such a good job of running our school district through this, and I've wanted to support you in every single way, and everybody has stepped up, and I'm so proud of Tyler ISD for a successful school year. So, but I'm so looking forward to seeing those kids' smiling faces in the last couple weeks of school. So we've had a motion, we've had a second. All in favor of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, the ayes have it, and the motion carries. So I think it was, the motion was Monday, May 10th. Masks will be optional. Okay. All right, well, thank you for that, Mr. Bergfeld.
You bet.
The only other item on this agenda is adjournment. So I will entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Motion carries. This meeting is adjourned.